10 surprising British habits Americans adopted. Across history, the relationship between Britain and America has been a mix of rivalry, respect, and undeniable curiosity. Though the two nations share a language, they often express it in entirely different ways. Yet, quietly and gradually, British customs have seeped into American life, from what people watch and eat to how they speak, write, and even decorate their homes. In this countdown of 10 surprising British habits Americans adopted, we'll explore how subtle quirks from the UK have shaped US culture, one cuppa, one cheers, and one witty understatement at a time. 10. Enjoying a proper cup of tea. Nothing says British quite like tea. For centuries, it has been more than a beverage. It's a pause, a comfort, and a ritual. Americans, long devoted to their morning coffee, are now discovering that tea can do more than warm the hands. Over the last decade, the US tea industry has grown steadily, especially in cities like New York, Seattle, and San Francisco. Trendy tea rooms serve proper brews, Earl Grey, English breakfast, and even the occasionally controversial milk-first approach. High-end hotels offer afternoon tea services complete with scones, clotted cream, and cucumber sandwiches. While most Americans still reach for iced tea, the revival of hot tea culture is undeniable. For many, the British ritual of taking a slow, thoughtful tea break feels like an antidote to America's constant rush. The habit reminds us that sometimes a kettle and a quiet moment can say more than a venti latte ever could. 9. Saying cheers instead of thanks. This tiny word has become one of Britain's friendliest exports. Once heard mainly in pubs, cheers now closes countless American emails, texts, and social media messages. Linguists note its steady climb in American English since the 2010s, largely due to British films, travel, and the global nature of online work. To the British ear, cheers is casual but sincere, a blend of gratitude and good-natured warmth. Americans have adopted it for exactly those reasons. It feels breezy, upbeat, and personable, whether you're signing off an email or thanking someone for holding a door. The best part? Cheers slips neatly into American friendliness while adding a hint of British charm. It's a one-word cultural bridge, and a perfect example of how language unites two nations divided by one vocabulary. 8. Picking up British phrases and slang. Americans have always loved accents, but now they love the words too, from brilliant and bloody to fancy a cuppa. Britishisms are popping up in everything from TikTok videos to advertising slogans. The Guardian even reported that phrases once limited to London streets are becoming mainstream in the US. Part of the reason is exposure. Streaming platforms, YouTubers, and British influencers fill American feeds daily. When millions binge Love Island UK or Doctor Who, they pick up the rhythm of the language, the dry humour, the understatement, the "in it" that ends a sentence. It's a cultural echo, not imitation. American English has always borrowed freely, from jazz slang to tech jargon. And Britishisms add colour and personality. Every spot on or mate dropped into a sentence shows just how global English has become. 7. Falling in love with British television. When The Office UK debuted in America, few expected it would reshape television comedy forever. Its awkward silences, understated humour, and mock documentary style paved the way for The Office, US, Parks and Recreation, and dozens of other shows. Since then, British TV has become a cultural phenomenon across the Atlantic. From Downton Abbey to The Crown and The Great British Bake Off, American viewers can't get enough of Britain's storytelling style. They love its slow pacing, complex characters, and emotional restraint, a refreshing change from Hollywood spectacle. The influence goes beyond screens. British dramas have shaped American aesthetics, from muted colour palettes to orchestral scores. Even US reality TV borrows the civility and camaraderie seen on Bake Off. Britain's television exports have proven that wit and warmth can outshine explosions and cliffhangers. 6. Embracing British humour and understatement. If British TV built the bridge, humour walked across it. British comedy thrives on subtlety. The perfectly timed pause, the understated not bad that secretly means brilliant. Americans, once known for broader, louder comedy, are embracing this quieter wit. You see it in late-night talk shows that now feature deadpan delivery and in sitcoms where awkward silences replace laugh tracks. On social media, British-style sarcasm and irony dominate memes and comments. Even Gen Z creators parody the famous self-deprecating British tone. What makes British humour appealing to Americans is its balance. It laughs with, not at. It's intelligent, wry, and honest. The success of Ted Lasso, an American show inspired by British optimism, proves that transatlantic humour can make everyone feel like part of the same inside joke. 5. Copying polite British communication. Politeness is practically a national sport in Britain. Phrases like, "Would you mind terribly?" or "If it's not too much trouble," soften even firm requests. And now those gentle touches have entered American professional culture. Email analytics show a sharp increase in words like just, no rush, and whenever you have a moment, classic British softeners that turn commands into collaborations. US offices once prized directness, but the rise of remote work and global teams has made British courtesy the default tone of diplomacy. Even texting has become kinder. Americans sprinkle messages with "sorry" and "no worries," not from guilt, but from a newfound appreciation of empathy. The British art of understatement has taught the world that kindness and clarity aren't opposites. They're partners. 4. Romanticising the royal family. Americans love a good story, and the royal family delivers centuries of it. Despite rejecting monarchy long ago, the US remains fascinated by the Windsors. Millions watched Prince William's wedding, millions more tuned in for Prince Harry and Meghan's, and stores sold out of Union Jack mugs overnight. Royal documentaries trend on Netflix. Fashion magazines dissect royal wardrobes. Cafes host watch parties for coronations, complete with scones and champagne. For Americans, the monarchy represents pageantry, continuity, and a touch of fairy tale nostalgia in a fast-moving world. It's not about politics, but personality, the sense that history is alive and dressed impeccably. And as every new royal event proves, Britain doesn't need colonies to conquer hearts. A crown and a carriage will do. 3. Making the British cosy life a trend. In a world obsessed with speed, the British mastery of slowing down has become aspirational. The cosy life, rainy days, warm blankets, books by the fire, endless cups of tea, has blossomed into a global lifestyle movement. In America, this has merged with the cottagecore and slow living trends. Influencers show off floral china, knitted throws, and rustic shelves stacked with novels and marmalade jars. Interior designers credit the British countryside look, muted greens, soft lighting, worn wood, as the new model of comfort. Pinterest reports searches for cosy British home decor have doubled, and lifestyle magazines call it the quiet luxury of comfort. It's proof that British living isn't about grandeur. It's about gratitude for small, warm things. 2. Using British food as comfort cuisine. Once mocked as bland, British food is finally having its American moment. In New York, you'll find gastropubs serving shepherd's pie with local beef. In Los Angeles, brunch cafes feature beans on toast and black pudding. Even supermarkets stock British staples like HP sauce, Cadbury chocolate, and crumpets. The shift began with the Great British Bake Off, which introduced Americans to Victoria sponges and trifles. Suddenly, traditional British comfort food looked nostalgic and authentic, a welcome contrast to fast food and fads. Now, British-style brunches attract crowds seeking warmth and simplicity. It's not about fancy presentation, it's about hearty flavours and familiar comfort. The very dishes that once drew ridicule have become symbols of humble joy. 1. Adopting British words and wit into daily life. At the top of 10 surprising British habits Americans adopted is the habit that underpins all the rest: language itself. British vocabulary and humour have quietly blended into American daily speech. Mate, bloody, reckon, queue, cheeky, fancy, and proper now appear everywhere, from social media captions to coffee shop chatter. Movies and marketing campaigns borrow British tones to sound friendly or sophisticated. American teens mimic London slang on TikTok. Professionals sprinkle emails with British phrasing to sound worldly. Even advertising has gone British. Think of brands using words like brilliant, lovely, or cheers to evoke warmth and class. But beyond words, there's a deeper adoption: the British mindset. The gentle humour, the politeness, the refusal to take oneself too seriously, all resonate in an age of global connection. It's a reminder that cultural influence isn't loud or forced. Sometimes it's as quiet and steady as the sound of a kettle boiling. From humble cups of tea to the words that fill our screens, 10 surprising British habits Americans adopted reveals just how naturally British culture has slipped into American life. These habits aren't about imitation, they're about appreciation. Every cheers, every cosy evening, every dry joke shows the quiet power of cultural exchange. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and don't forget to turn on the notification bell.